Hello everyone, welcome to the finals of the rookie bracket in the Easter tournament that was held in the GBG Discord. If you want to get involved with those types of things in the future, you'll find the invite link to the Discord for the GBG community down below. And we're going to start things off here on the map Flats. Both players will be playing Confederacy. We've got Grenooli here in the purple and Soup Juice down here in the green. And the player's going to be getting their animal nursery to get these nerfs in there. Might eat one or two, we'll see, just to keep their food production going, but there is some Rontos that the players can lure just to get that early food really quickly with as minimal worker investment as possible. The player's going to be scouting around, looking to find that stuff, get these nerfs housed. Looks like there's another 4 here for Grenooli. He's a little bit later than his opponent in munching a nerf. So you can see he's mined 70 food already. There might be a bit of an idle worker here, and unfortunately, as a Confederacy, they've already got basic training, so you can't even make yourself feel better when your command center goes idle right now by researching it. It has to do a bit of a food drop there, so it should be a sort of a worker lead for Soup Juice, I'm assuming here. And we'll just have a quick scan around the outskirts. Still 4 nerfs here for Soup Juice to find, put into his nursery. He seems to have stopped building his prefab, so that worker lead that he's got going on might not last too long if he doesn't finish this prefab off, because he's going to be at 9 out of 10 right now. And as this worker goes to go, he's now building a prefab. He keys it up. It's like he's just completely forgotten about it. Guess he's got that one in the bank for later. We'll go back to Grenooli and see how things are going on here. Ronto's been lured, and the Ronto for Soup Juice as well. So pretty even. Being flats, you can see all these cliffs that spawn all around between them and the tree clusters. Can make walling a lot easier. And it can be a little bit of a trek. See how long it takes to get from player to player there. So rushing might not be the best thing. You might be able to sneak some tech level 3 games in on a map like Flats. Be a much shorter window that you'd have to weather the storm of a rushing player before you can get those tech level 3 units out. Like the strike mech and the fighters. Got Soup Juice commenting that he's rusty today and his opponent should go easy on him. And Grenooli with the same. We got a food processor here. I think there was not another Ronto to eat. There's another 2. Oh no. So I'd much rather that this carbon was the carbon processor, so that's a little bit inefficient here. It might give Grenooli a bit of a lead. As you can see, he's got the carbon processor down now. Just purely in terms of the efficiency and the walking distance, because you can see these guys are walking a little bit of a trek here, when they could just be walking about a third of that, just to deposit the carbon into a carbon processor. And last Ronto going to be getting lured here for Grenooli. And that should be the end of the sort of freebie food as such. There'll just be the berries to maybe grab up the food processor, which you'll need to make farms anyway. Not a bad location to make it there. You can sort of farm towards the edge of the map. However, in Soup Juice's instance, he's going to be farming sort of to this location, but then his carb's going to be over here. Maybe it might have been better to put his carb around here. Just in terms of like how easy it is to wall things out, make the base feel much more defensible. Troop center down already for Grenooli. So he's absolutely got his 3 buildings to tech up if he did have 500 food. Yeah, it's probably about enough. I think between the nerfs and when these are sort of almost done, you should reach it. He's going to build a food processor forward here just to grab up some of these cabbages. That's 600 food if he grabs them all. They can be quite inefficient though, just because not much food on them, not much meat on those bones, and you got to walk back and forth and such. So you're probably better to split your workers up on these. Because if you put them all on one, there'll be so much like overkill of farming, it'll just be much more walking back and forth. So those berries are quickly finished here. And Soup Juice is going to be really behind because he's just not picked up these Rontos. He hasn't scouted them. They're just sitting on the edge here. Because he didn't really scout his opponent, he doesn't know that his opponent had Rontos, because he would have been able to see them and go, hold on, wait a minute, where are my Rontos? So that's quite a lot of food to be behind here at 800. He's on his way to T2 though. But what he's just going to lack is the carbon that's been mined here by Soup Juice. And well, these Mounties that he sent across the map, he's built one, he's building a second. And Mounties are a really great opener for Confederacy because you start with all that extra Nova. Makes it much easier to afford like a couple extra Mounties that the other civs wouldn't be able to get unless they were on Nova. And you're going to go for the double turret here, which is pretty smart. It's definitely what he needs to deal with this Mountie aggression. He should really just run this worker back rather than lose it, though. He could have garrisoned it into the command centre. And each turret will guarantee the other, so troopers are not, mounted troopers are not going to be able to do too much damage to that spot. Doesn't really have anything sort of on the outskirts of his base. He's not on Nova or Ore or anything like that, so it shouldn't phase him too much. He's going to have to farm towards these turrets though, and it's going to make him a little bit uncomfortable and get to T3, so could see Grenooli getting a bit of a lead on the way to T3 here, but he really needs to do something with his own economy. As you can see, he's stacked up to about 600 carbon here. He needs to get that spent on some farms. You can see he's placing them right now. Certainly going to be able to afford quite a few of them. And probably too many workers here on these like rubbish Cadus, because as I said, it's only 500 food, and there's like, what, 8 workers there. They make quick work of them, and then they'll have to walk all the way back. So I think a few of those would be much better just farming right now. But yeah, both players going to be stalled in T2 for a little bit here. You can see Grenooli making some troopers now as well. Don't know if there's really much of a point. What would be really good is if he got like a turret behind here. You could maybe like force the workers away from that location, then the troopers would be relevant, but alas, we're going into this sort of rookie meta here, so second troop center are going to be dropping. These guys are just keen on fighting in T2, it would seem, as Soup has decided that he needs a troop center. Don't like the placement too much, because he's sort of taking up a spot that would probably be good for him to just have farms there. And would prefer the troop center maybe a little bit out, or you know, some sort of walling going on the edges of this carbon. And that is, come on man, you're ruining your carbon with this prefab. You just cut this tree out of the equation. It's a very like condensed wall. I don't like it when people make their bases too condensed, because they give themselves no room to operate in, and they just limit their own opportunities. Look at all these troopers walking across the map here. Oh, but worried for Soup here. His worker count is looking kind of low. I think he only really lost one though. But I think there might have been an idle CCO, but because he's about 5 workers behind. 2 troop centers now. Don't really need troops. Got the trooper upgrade. Just gonna get the range here. And Grenooli has remembered the range this time. There's a few occurrences of that forgotten in the last set of games we did with him. He's bringing these Mounties over, and you know, he could make a dive for the power core I suppose, but I don't think it's worth it, because these are already at half health, at least 2 of them. And they're going to go down really quickly, especially with him having troopers as well. Though he's slow to react, but he can absolutely repair this, not going to lose it. I don't even think they can kill it, and he is going to repair it. Use that opportunity though, which is a good play, just to come up here and just snipe a worker. Which is great, and I think what's really looking healthy for Grenooli in this instance is just how condensed Soup Juice is looking here. He doesn't have too many farms, and that's going to free Grenooli up at home, since he's not really worried about being counterattacked or anything like that right now, just to get his own farms and maybe get that edge on the way to T3. I don't know what he's managed to do, this poor guy. He's just blocked him out of depositing his Nova here. He's in protest, just standing still with this spaceport that was. Maybe it could have just been placed out here. Would have been nice to maybe block that area. or block an area up here or something, because it's a nice big bulky building, and because you don't really need HoloNet, you don't need to put it in a powered state. So you can use it as just a walling tool. And Mech Factory down here, so let's have a quick look at how Grenooli's getting on. It seems like he has done a bit of wizardry here between the nerfs and the few farms that he's got. He finished off those berries, and then he's used the spaceport just to get the rest of his resources, I think. Because he did make a couple of troopers and such. He's going to get a war centre as well, so maybe going to look for some strike mech aggression when he gets to T3 here. And a bit worried for Soup, he's going to need to really catch up here. He's got a couple of farms to replace. He's made a few troopers. You can see that one that's just gotten stuck next to the tree. Forgive me while I stretch. A bit tired. But this guy, he's just guarding the holy sacred tree. The strange tree. But yeah, we don't want much food here. You can get pretty damn close, I think, with a spaceport. He's going to need to get one. A few more prefabs here. I don't think these prefabs will, in the building of, reveal the Rontos that he's missed, which he sorely needs. Even if he found them now, it would be amazing, because he would just get that food, and then he could focus on teching up. But I think Grenooli's just going to have quite a big window here to do some damage with the really powerful T3 units. And this should be something that Soup's maybe scouting for, because this is going to be a bad time. As you see the fortress coming down, and it looks like Grenooli's really enjoying the Geonosian warrior technology. As I saw him use that the other day. He's going to be using it again. As he's Confederacy here. Leap at that opportunity to bring out the Geonosian warriors, because they are absolutely so potent at killing troopers, killing workers. It's just an amazing harass tool. And for how volatile they can be, how much damage that they can do, they are so cheap. You can just keep spamming them out, and you know, your opponents need to get so much just to deal with them. Like, this is 4 anti-air troopers, not really enough. You kind of only really feel comfy when you've got like 8 or so of them. Though they could maybe kill one quite quickly. I think it's maybe they take like 5 shots or something from an anti-air trooper. It's quite a lot. But what you can always do is just bring the Geos together, get like 2 or 3 of them, and then just take an all-out trade. And when you kill all those anti-air troopers and you get on top of your opponent, it just snowballs so hard because they can't really deal with it coming in. Oof. So it is about, what was that, 5? That was 6 shots, I think. 5 took it to like 1 health there. But he did just fly straight into the volley, so didn't get much out of that. Whereas he could have flew around the base, he could have got these workers over here at the Nova and on the outskirts of the farms, and these anti-air troopers would have to respond, you know, like the police force. They'd have to walk all the way around. I just lost another one. Soup Juice getting a really good opportunity to come back into this game for sure. With those 2 Geos down, the momentum's just sort of drowning there, and then a strike mech dying to the Grenadiers. It's just not going well for Grenooli here. Oh, he wants to be careful though, he's overextending a little bit. It's not going to happen again, right? Please don't. It pains me. That's the world's biggest Geonosian warrior salesman. This is not intended use. This Grenadier. He's just caught out of position there. And there we go, we're going to hit the Nova maybe. Oh no, what is this migration when your anti-air's over here? This is terrible! If you've ever seen that Brass Eye clip where they say, this is the one thing we didn't want to happen, this is it. What has happened here? What is that, like 5, 6, 7 workers going to die? Maybe more. There it is. And he needn't have taken that. We could have went to the Nova as well and killed. I would have killed these as well. That'd be another 5 workers. Oh dear. Soup on his way to T3. Surviving, but damn, that sucked. I can see what he was doing because there was like this pressure coming up here. Oh, these troopers are still here on the hill. They're gonna get a kill. Or are they? There's a bit of body blocking. What was that dodge? Oh, they're dead. The anti-air trooper is walking up there. Oh, he loses one as well. Good value from these forgotten troopers. Damn Grenooli, says Soup Juice. Kind of messing me up. I don't really know if I should be swearing in my YouTube videos. I do tend to swear a lot. I'm Scottish. I try to hold back. Another Geo coming across. And the anti-air troopers are all the way down here, and he hasn't really built much more of them. Now, if Grenooli sort of clocked onto this and just got like a bunch of Geos together, he could have just killed them, I think. The worst thing is when they get on top of you, they can kill a power core pretty quickly as well. Like Grenadiers, they're getting 2-shot as well. Oh no. Oh, he has upgraded the anti-air, that's sensible. But yeah, Soup is struggling a bit here. Soaking up that pressure. Probably needs to get himself like 2 command centers. And just keep playing defensive and sort of work her back up here. But Grenooli's sort of thinking about that. He's super aggro here, and I don't know if he's ever stopped mining the ore. It looks like all the ore is gone, so I think that's gonna mean that he's maybe gonna make a new fortress. Kinda unambitious. I suppose he's blocking out this Nova here. But I think he probably could have built it about here. And really just blocked out this sort of whole area. Of that looming presence over Soup Juice's base, just the shadow of Grenooli's fortress. Haunting the citizens of Soup Juice Town here. Every day. As they go off to work in areas with absolutely no anti-air support. With new tales of sightings of Geonosian warriors. Try to build the ore processor there for the Nova, not the right one. He does catch that midway and gets it replaced there. And looks like that might be the most exciting thing for the next couple of minutes or so. As these forces are just sort of marshalled, standing here near the fortress. Not too much going down. Heavy weapons factory. Wonder why Soup's decided on that. Is he maybe just wanting the anti-air from it? Don't think he knows about the fortress yet. He doesn't. Building the anti-air turret here. Maybe going to use the anti-air mobiles just to shore up some spots in his base. We need some AA. They're a little bit better than the anti-air troopers. I think they still take a couple of shots to deal with the Geos. Oh, it's a pummel. Right. I don't think he's seen it though. Maybe he just knows. Or maybe he's planning some sort of pummel drop. Interesting. I think the best thing is there seems to be a lot of lapses of not making workers out of the other command center. So Soup Juice here kind of just needed to chill out a bit, get maybe a few more command centers, and just get his worker count up, and then he'll be in a much stronger position when he is forced to take like a fight to maybe push this fortress away or this forward away. But right now, being at the deficit he's at, he's kind of be going toe to toe with Grenooli here, but he's going to have a lot more workers than him. So he's got a strong core of farms, he's got a lot of bodies on the carbon. Just going to give him a lot of resources to play with. See if we can get some good detonations of the grenades. The grenades here from, well, they're dead. So no, before I can even finish that sentence. They're all going down here, and he's just going to call GG, because it's doomed for him, he feels. And there's not been a mech factory, no mech destroyers, which would have been a much better counter to these strike mechs. I think a bit more walling around the edges here as well. Flats is really good for it. You could just, you know, slide a couple of prefabs. I mean, these prefabs could have just been walled here. You know, you could wall out this bit a little bit. You can wall out here. Give you advanced vision, and just you would have much more land to play with as well later on in these moments like T3. But GG, we'll move on to the next game. So that's Grenooli up 1-0 here in this best of 5 final for the rookie bracket. And they're going to be that lovely favourite, the Rebels here, which is always banging in a 1v1 when you've got to make all those farms and stuff because of their ridiculous farm bonuses. Super OP race. And I get all that tech for air, good trooper line, brilliant mounties, really fun civ to play with. They only just feel a bit lacking when it comes to the late game because they can't convert other Jedi, and you kind of just feel compelled to just build air cruisers. But we should be so lucky if we reach that point in the rookie 1v1s. So Animal Nursery are going to be coming down. Both players going to be munching on the nerf just to keep the command center going, keep that worker production up. And the old Philumpa are here to bring a little bit of food. I think there's just what, 1, 2. Not seeing much more than 2. And I think this is shoreline, right? Yep. See, there's a really nice sea just down. It's very much favoured the south here, the sort of the southwest. A couple of bad beasties up there on the sea though. I won't be wanting to encounter those. And it's kind of a bit distant. I don't know if players will go for it. And now certainly make it a lot easier to commit workers early to carbon and think about getting, you know, them out for that shipyard. And I must say, if you went and fished up here, this would be a bit disappointing for sure. There's some nice shore fish here though, maybe. Maybe could commit a food processor to that. There's a few opportunities for that for both players. You need to actively look for it though, we just get, that's a really nice one. You can grab that EOP as well. Soup Juice is complaining about the 15 house. That's a very frequent one. Even I, as a long-standing player of the game, have encountered the 15 house a great many times. Getting housed is just, it's a constant battle to remember. Or maybe soup means that you got housed on 10 out of 10. That's what it is. But that one I remember. It's mainly because I got a mental check after like building my nursery and stuff to build the second house in like a good spot. So one of the reasons I only build one house is just so I can use the second one. Because I used to find when I did 2 I would just put them in stupid spots, and then when I went to build farms I had like no room. But you can use it a bit strategically, get a nice spot, start a wall or something like that. Get you thinking about it. These workers going over here, maybe going to find a spot to make a food processor. It's almost like the herd of Cadus know when they're moving away. And do these rancors have like a checking system or a cooldown or something? And it just kicked in there and he's like, oh, food processor, I'm on my way. And 2 workers are about what you need to beat it. Not having basic training, this rancor actually could end up winning this. If he gets to 1v1 them both. Super very active with his houses now. He's got this guy just on a hotkey waiting to build more houses. Super idle. Couple of nerfs there. He's not got this Philumpa set. So it looks like Soup's just maybe going to straight fish here. It's nice getting the shore fish here. That'll keep him going a little bit with his nerfs. He can maybe keep the command center going. He's got a bit of a buffer with his food. And if you can get the boats going, it's going to be like having extra command centers in T1 here, so you can really get his worker count up. You can just commit all of his little R2-D2 astromech boys onto the carbon, and then all the utility trawlers can go for that deadliest catch tier gaming here in this massive sea of fish. You can get a huge lead on his opponent Grenooli here. And see, the things have really escalated since we last left off with that Rancor. There's now a 5v1. Don't think the workers died there. It looks like he has been repaired maybe. I don't see any corpses. And a lot of workers here eating these Cadus. Fortunately, if he'd just gotten the food processor here, they'd have a much... Nature's really rose against Grenooli here in this game. Maybe Soup Juice is like the Rancor Whisperer or something, but this is super tilting. He goes to wall, and now there's another Rancor. There's another one in a Tuscat here waiting for him as well. Tuscat. So that shipyard's up, and these boys are got their fishing poles out. Probably one of the best fishing animations in the game, the R2D2 one. That just pops out of his sort of like torso chassis, doesn't that? Brilliant. Could also be interpreted as something else, but we'll get into that. And things have escalated once again with the Rancor has been brought to the command center and getting shot down by the CC. Big action there. Troop center dropped for both players, but I'm going to favour Soup Juice here because he's going to have these extra workers with his utility trawlers. And a lot of his workers have actually been working rather than fighting the local wildlife. Power core right up against the command center here. Should be quite safe. I thought that siren was Grenooli being attacked by nature again. He's going to be dropping his own power core. So kind of even here. Soup Juice almost on his way to T2. It's pretty good going to be sort of even with your opponent though in terms of like the tech time and that. When you are fishing, just because of the way that you've split your resources. So there's not going to be like a big window where he's trapped in T1 or anything like that. He is housed again though. He's maybe not quite adapted to this whole concept of building two things at a time. See, he's reluctant to get some workers queued up. I'm going to get that utility trawler speed upgrade, and for all his workers, the motivator is pretty much the only thing you can get to make them go a bit quicker, do a better job. So it's an absolute good purchase here when you've got all these extra workers. Both troop centers down. Bit of, oh, is that walled? Maybe the grid would say. I feel like I can walk through that. Don't ask me why. I just do. I feel like I could go through that. Doesn't look like I could, based on these little icons. But I've walked through some sort of dodgy walls in my time. Grenooli has found the last Rancor. Oh, there's another one here. He's on his route. Maybe he's going to bring them to his opponent here. Not sure if he's planning to do some walling around the outskirts or something like that. Has he maybe lost his scout? Not too sure. I don't see his scout. So he's brought the Rancor and the Tuscat to his opponent, but Soup Juice not going to be too phased by that since he's got troopers out here. And both players are just absolutely chilling out. He does have a scout here. Just maybe forgotten about it. A bit of banter there from Soup Juice saying, "What is this I see?" Torture. Grenooli has been phased by all the Rancors. Just wanted to spread that pain. And quick to get the spaceport here, and Soup Juice off to T3, and Grenooli going to be going T3 as well. That's quite a lot of food here. Between maybe his cadu's and the sort of shore fishing he's been doing. And the 9 nerfs definitely help. And the rebel farmers, 1400. But Soup Juice got a bit of a lead this time and going T3. So we'll see what he does with that. Got these 2 power cores. More center down here, but I'm not seeing a mech factory. He doesn't have an excuse this time because he's got ore. But maybe he's going to favour going like air, double air base or something like that. Making more troopers. Sending them across to Grenooli here. Grenooli, interestingly, did make the troop center, but didn't make anything out of it. He's got a gate, finishing off his walling here. So hopefully it is all walled. and I'm not going to watch his opponent walk through it or something like that. So he should be feeling quite comfortable, and then he himself could go through into some air tech and not have to worry about strike mechs and such. That soup hit T3. We're just waiting to see what happens. What's he going to build? If anything at all. Double air base. Grenooli hits T3, he's got his workers waiting, they're going to drop an air base. And they're going to drop the second air base as well, so looking quite even here. But Soup Juice is going to have a little bit of a lead just because he got quicker, got these two air bases built a little bit quicker, and he's starting to make the fighters themselves quicker on the back of all of that. We're going to need to see some command centers as well, I think. Lack of space for a few of them here. Annoying hills sort of in the back here. Sort of the nice places that you could put a CC and feel safe about it. Just sort of zoned out by the elevation. Now we've got two fighters here. Strike mech rallied from Grenooli. Gonna find all these troopers, and it's not going to be able to really deal with them on its own without copious amounts of micro, and he mucks it up by walking behind. He maybe missed the attack command there. And unfortunately just dies because he's not got any armor or anything like that. So the troops are doing their native 8 damage to those strike mechs, I think. And 4 fighters out now, a 5th. Looks like he maybe forgot to queue up the 6th there, already got himself housed. But 5 fighters to 5 fighters, so it's very even. 6th popping out now, so Grenooli got a slight lead, and he's got that sort of defender's advantage as well. And it looks like Soup's forgotten one of the fighters too, so he's only rolling in with 4 fighters here. But there's 6 moving across the map, and it's going to be maybe like a little bit of a base trade instance here. But might favour Grenooli in this outcome because he's got a lot more fighters over here being aggressive, so that when reinforcements do come to try and clean it up, it looks like he's not liking this and being sort of spawn camped here by these fighters. Some good micro from Soup Juice. He's clicking on the fighters when they show up, making sure that they die. Forced himself to build the anti-air turret, but the problem is that he's pulled his air back and he's lost his window to do damage. And if he could have gotten the same result and just kept them over there, which he could because he committed to building this anti-air turret, he could be actually pulling ahead in this instance. And instead now he's going to fly into this fortress. Fighters are flying past, and Soup's maybe almost misplaced them over here. They're just sitting here doing nothing when they could be in the base, responding to this threat and cleaning up these fighters from Grenooli. And because they're absolutely unaccounted for, they're getting a few kills here. 2, 3 workers going to die. And he's pulling over now, going to try and take the trade, but Grenooli's paying attention, goes onto the elevation, takes a trade there. Trades 1 for 1, which is pretty good in that instance. When you're pulling away from someone that's already clicked to attack you. Oh, surges forward and that one comes down to 1 health there. Maybe some elevation nonsense and interfering there. Chasing Grenooli away to the corner here. Could maybe try and kite these. It's an okay trade really. Just 1 left for Soup. He seems to be rallying his air towards the anti-air turret. That's not great. I don't think he's really built any though. Unless he has built a few and they've just went and died. So both players are okay. Nobody really like died off of that. A few workers died on each side. Not really too sure who pulled ahead, but we could say that by default, until Grenooli does something about the boats and stuff, where he gets a really good boom going, Soup Juice is definitely ahead with all these extra workers down here. Bringing home the fish. It's a really bad long distance rallying for this card processor, needs a new one. Just needs a bit better here for Soup since he's built like a second card processor. But we do have a couple of CCs down here for Grenooli. And if you just get a bunch of farms out, you can have a really good sort of baseline economy here with all that rebel farming. Soup's kind of got a lot of carbon banked up here, not really doing anything with it. Got this guy who knows that he wants to build a command center, but he's just sitting reading the manual for a little bit there. Sitting on top of the foundation, and now he's going to start building it. A lot of air speeders getting made here by Soup Juice. But he needs to keep making the fighters, yeah. Because these are not too great against the fighters. They do okay, but they're definitely worse off against them. Be difficult to rely just on speeders against fighters. So Grenooli's eco is looking quite good now, I think. Just sort of on the face of it. But Soup Juice really needs to find like a good use for this 1700 carbon that he's sort of saved and banked up because he's never had to build any farms. And the fish is starting to get a little bit more inefficient, and with all the demands that you have on there in the game for more consistent food income and stuff, probably going to need to start farming soon. And what Soup could definitely do in this instance is drop a research center, sell a lot of that carb, get some Nova, and he could be off to T4, get some T4 air. Just making use of that big eco advantage that he's had, because you can see in contrast to Grenooli, who doesn't really have any food at the moment. But that will change soon as these farms start to accrue extra. So Soup is going to go to T4. Has made use of that space part. Looks like he's sold a lot of that carbon. So once they maybe keep his air together, I'll make the mistake of sending out the map. Because he just wants to get it together. He knows he's on the way to T4, upgrade it, and then make use of the advantages from the upgrades that he's got on his opponent. Having the shield, having the fast fighter attack, and then he can win the trade and sort of devastate Grenooli's economy. The turrets won't phase him too much since they're just the T3 turret line, not the T4 ones. But he is sending them out on the map, and I'm worried that he's going to maybe lose these or just take an even trade. Either of those would be a huge win for Grenooli, being behind in tech. So he's going to go prod, kick the Hornet's Nest here. By raiding the ore. In range of that turret. Didn't take any damage from the turret, but if he goes further in here, he's going to lose them all. And you can see Grenooli is quick to come and try and take this trade with him now. He does have a bit more. He's going to lose 2-3 fighters here. I just don't. I even think he could maybe have won the trade on top of that hill there when he turned back, but I still don't think it's even worth it. Running to his anti-airboat, which is good. That's going to make these go away. He just needs to wait. He's almost T4. He's have a lot more workers on Nova, I think, and there doesn't seem to actually really be any Nova on this map looking at it. So the holocrons should really be getting picked up by players. There's an extra one there. It doesn't look like there's too much extra Novas at all. Was that the only one? It looks like it. So the holocrons are kind of huge in this matchup. Neither player going for it. Grenooli looking to come and just take a trade with the air here. I don't know if that's because he knows his opponent's T4 now, but he does kill off all those fighters, and that's a huge win for him. And you can raid here, kill some workers and stuff. And Soup just needs, again, he's got so much carbon. Just sell it off and get these upgrades going. We don't see any of them started. No shields, no fast fighters. I think he's sort of losing his upper hand here that he's developed with all that fish. What's happened in T3. He's going to clean these fighters up. Again, no sort of tech. Grenooli here got another command center in a more forward position with 2 mech factories, making some strike mechs to maybe do some extra bit of raiding. And we got Soup Juice and tasting the Rancor here. Things that Grenooli's been enjoying most of the early game. Going over to that second Nova. Again, no upgrades. We're T4 and not doing too much with it. Let's see, Grenooli must have been very anxious to get to T4. His economy looking a lot better now though. You can see he's got a big bank of carbon there. He's going to be getting that Jedi Temple. Eyeing up that holocron, I guess. Maybe clocked on that there's not too much Nova and there would be a huge investment. Holocron stonks. Did build a second carbon, but probably needs another one now. So his workers have gotten much more efficient at it with the upgrades. And let's see what Soup's up to now. He is getting that shield now, he has gotten fast fighters. Must have been having just quite the moment there, working out what he wanted to do. But we'd like to see him go for the holocrons as well. Gonna need that Nova. And he's got two fairly close to him. This one's sort of in between the players, and then Grenooli's got two as well. Two temples, so maybe gonna think about some sort of T4 Jedi play as well. Both players do have fortresses though. They could have got bounty hunters out if they wanted. And we're now T4 air, imagine from Grenooli as well. Still making fighters, got 5 queued up in these two air bases. Doesn't really have much Nova at the moment. Players should be looking to see who can make best use of the spaceport right now and get the good value out of it before the prices go all the way down. Just think of that extra Nova. Ah, there it is. There's another one there. It's slightly even. This area is somewhat important. 2 Novas in the holocron. Now we do have the upgraded air now for Soup Juice, and he's moved out. There's a lot of fighters though for Grenooli, and not too many with the upgrades here for Soup, so I think you could maybe take this trade. And Soup's smartly going to pull away there. He's got another 3 though. It'll look a bit better for him now with 12 of these. You know, with the shields there and the advanced fighter tech. There's going to be the fighter helping out here, but I don't know if he put these on no attack stance or stand ground, but they were just sitting there, not actually taking the trade. You can see how efficient these guys are at just killing the workers. Just sort of like 2 hits or something like that. And all the fighters going down here for Grenooli. 1 or 2 left for Soup doing a bit of raiding there. Please get the holocrons. It's just madness. Get the holos. You guys have no Nova. You both have no Nova. Get the holos. This is how little Nova you have. They're done. It's all gone. Get the holo. Please. It's free Nova. Soup flying around here, looking for more workers to kill. Grenooli did get advanced anti-air turrets. It's definitely going to help out here. See, they sort of 2-hit the fighters. Quickly try to get another turret here. Ah, some bombers here, but they're just bombers. He's not made them enhanced or anything like that. And with the new advanced turrets, I think the opportunity to sort of kill off the base with the bombers is sort of lost. Unless you can get a lot more of them out there. But the issue is going to be that they're spamming these Nova units with no Nova and no holocrons. Oh my god. Someone. Finally. It's been so long. So I'm gonna go get this other one. And he's should remember this one here since he's being attacked at this location. Soon might be completely visible as well. So what I'm really interested in here is not really been any trooper follow-up, which would really be the ideal unit composition to go in here as rebels, and with the state of the Nova as well, because it's a cheap carbon food, get great value out of them, do a lot of DPS, spammable. So we'd like to see troopers from both players here. Because they can't really spam the air, they just don't have the money for it. Grenooli knows that there's this Nova. No, he doesn't. Doesn't know this exists. That's like 2000 Nova he's missing. Yeah, it's got the fast fighter attack, but not got advanced fighters on the way at all. But he's queuing up a lot of fighters. Maybe waiting until he's got a critical mass to take this trade. Not sure who's really going to take this game. Strike Mech maybe doing a bit of pressure there, but the speeders that Soup Juice built earlier going to pay off there, kill them very easily. Looks like we're really trying to grab up this holocron, but the troopers were stationed near this Nova to defend it, and they got on top of this Jedi Master. He's actually blocked by the troopers, so it looks like he is going to go down. They just do a lot of consistent damage and just slowly whittling him down there. This cannon maybe waiting to shoot at this fortress. There we go. Let's deploy it. A master would have been really helpful there if you could just convert that. This area of the map open now, so Grenooli not walled so much anymore. Heavy weapons factories for. Shield generator though, going to keep this location safe. Still just no intention from Soup Juice to make Jedi and get the holos when he's pretty much got 2 guaranteed. Looks like he's going to surge forward and kill this cannon. He's a bit late on the repair there. This fortress doing tons of damage to these strike mechs. Couple of strikes, couple of MDs. Player's not really keen on repeater troopers. Nobody really repairing this fortress. I think it might just go down here. You see the Mechsters trying to come forward a bit, put some pressure on the cannon, but there we go, there's one worker repairing it now. And Soup needs to be careful because he doesn't have any workers repairing his own fortress. Nor does he have anything that's threatening these cannons. And this would be a lot of ore to lose, and fortresses are... You really want to keep your fortress alive as rebels because you can make such useful things out of them. As I said, you've not got much going in the late game. The ACs are quite important, but then the speed attack is so great as well. And you kind of want to rely on the cannons to take down buildings. Since you're sort of a trooper civ, there's not really much else great going on. No artillery or such. Pummel's not too great. Kind of just got mounties and cannons. Bombers are not really feasible with the way things are economically. So, fortress does go down there for Soup Juice. And a few more mechs arriving here. The bounty hunters are pretty good, particularly against mech destroyers because they just do no damage to the bounty hunters. But this cannons are not quite getting through here on this fortress, it keeps getting repaired. And Soup Juice sort of surging forward with his units here when he doesn't need to, when he should just focus on defending the cannons. Grenooli not grabbing this holocron as of yet. Could have 3 rather than 2. And I think this fortress is going to go down. Can't keep repairing this. He's run out of ore. The unit's coming forward now. And the fortress goes down. I might feel emboldened to kill off these cannons. Maybe just bought some more, or is he mining some? He's got 2 workers on ore. But nothing threatening the cannons. He's just kind of focused on repairing it. He's pulling more workers forward. I don't think the issue is how many workers are repairing it, it's just that there's not any ore for it. Keeps clicking repair. No ore. It's 40 been brought home by the workers. I must say, these cannons suck. But they should be doing more damage than this. And it's going down soon. Could you repair that much health off of 40 ore? God damn. Bringing his own cannons forward now, which is smart, he can shoot the cannons. However, there's a lot of forces here from Soup. If he just walks forward, he could kill these cannons off. Could also maybe make another... you only have the 1 fortress. No, he's got one down here, right? Yeah, you can make more cannons. 3 cannons would have probably broken this stalemate. Bringing the mech destroyers forward now, gonna kill off the cannons. Some trooper recruits walking around in T4. Ashman vibes. And these workers don't really know what to do anymore now that the fortress is gone. But Soup Juice should feel emboldened now to bring all of his units forward. He's sort of forgetting these troopers that he's got down here, his bounty hunters. And bring his cannons forward as well and get the shield generator, get the power core. And just start taking this position away from Grenooli. I might have to do this series in sort of 2 parts, it's getting really long. So the troops that are being rallied are coming over here, but Soup just very reluctant to pull this forces forward. He's got a few troops over here, the ones that killed off that Jedi. They've just been sort of abandoned and forgotten about there. Oh, Cal mech destroyers, the heavy mech from the rebels. Bring it all forward, come on! What APM is this Soup? It's like 5. Making this look like a turn-based game. Oh, they've been walled out with these units or something, where they were walking around. Oh, he's got everything together. Let's go. This is your moment. Not really a lot of units here for Grenooli. He's got some mech destroyers being built. He's got a few fighters left over, but just things look a bit miserable for him. I feel like he's got... He doesn't even have a lot of food. I was looking at there. So just looking a lot better off economically. On, he's now getting the he's gonna have had both Novas. Greedy. But, you know, he could have had 2 hollows which are still just sitting on the side of the map. Cannons. Come on. don't even have attack upgrades for the troopers. This thing can go up to 6+4 damage, and if you look at their rate of fire, that means a lot. Bring the cannons and kill off this position. Yeah, what we could be doing right now as well is just like funneling troopers into the eco, which is really good just because they're so cheap and they do so much damage output. You can just rally them into like worker lines, command centers and stuff, and they're just difficult to deal with. Damage starting to ramp. We are getting some upgrades. Gonna get that tougher armor, the racial here for the rebels. Gives them a lot more health. Command center gonna go down. These workers not long for this world. And just a fairly large army here just being built by Soup. Not really much to match it. See a few troopers being made by Grenooli now. It's also got the 6+1 damage, but he's not going to have the health and armor upgrades that are about to kick in for Soup Juice here. And the really long light armor upgrade coming in now as well. So you see they're now 75 health, and that's 0+2, 1+2 armor. There's just 0/1 here. Quite a terrible like amount of space for the units here in the shield as well, with all the buildings in the way. So these prefabs gonna need deleted. But he will at least be in a shield if he stands here. Trading a bit better. However, even with the health deficit, I think Soup will just take these trades. Just needs to get these cannons going. Take down the shield generator. There's nothing to threaten them. I think Grenooli's just running out of space. He's sort of mined out this area quite a bit as well. He needs to come move his eco all the way down here. There's still this ore that you could be eating. Never really finished off this ore either. Seems very slow to finish that ore too. Cannons now going for it. Some strike mechs coming here. They're going to make very quick work of these troopers. A very strong and diverse army. Just a random A-wing there by Soup Juice. Which means he went and got that research, I think. Interesting one when he's so Nova spam. Nova starved. Not Nova spam, Nova starved. Tell this game's run on so long I'm running out of words. And the hollows are no longer garrisoned in the temple. The workers, troopers are being spam killed, spawn killed rather. Just spam seems to be the default word here. Shield generator now for the army. And I'm not too sure there's much hope here for Grenooli. Has built a fortress here on top of this hill. Stall a little bit longer, but these A-wings looking for some opportunities to kill some workers over here on the right hand side. When they just went left, there's so many workers to kill there. Oh, the aqua harvesters. Getting some nice food income here for Soup. Just need to bring his cannons forward. I'd really like to see him just get more cannons, because there's nothing really threatening them, and you could just kill the bases so much quicker. Too often I see people on just like 1, 2 cannons when you could have like 6 cannons, man, and just kill everything super quick. They're not a bad unit to target things either, like target enemy mechs and stuff. They do a decent amount of damage. Underrated in that role. New fortress now for Soup in this sort of area that he's conquered. He's got his 2 shield generators to fall back on if things get a bit dicey. He won't so quickly just lose all this area that he's conquered. He does get pushed back a little bit. Nico does look quite good for Grenooli, so he's still got all these farms going and stuff, but there's just not really anything. All these troopers, why do I keep saying workers? All these troopers are just being spawn killed here by the forces of Soup Juice. The shield generator going down slowly here. I would like Soup to just put pressure on like the other side. It's just so open, you can just walk things into the economy. Like Grenooli's getting a lot of leeway here. Just to sort of keep existing. Well, I mean, these 2 troop centres could just spam units in here. Or you could throw some air and stuff as well. I'm pretty surprised Soup being stuck at like 50 Nova. And you can see the 2 hollows here, and then he's got the 2 in his base that has never really just dawned on him to grab them. I do hope he knows what he does. What they do, rather. See, my words are just, I might be too hungry for my lunch or something. It's hit an hour now. But most of it, I think, has just been sitting watching this area. The slowest game. I suppose I've got a 1 times speed, that's probably a sin. Is the final though. The rookie final. And some air now raiding around here, looking for some opportunities. Could be quite bad for Soup, he's been spending his money. Gonna suck if he kills off his boats here. He's pulled some A-wings back. Need to kite there. Does have his own air. There it is. Maybe feeling a lot better now if he's killed that. But we'd like to see the air going raid on the left hand. Maybe he is going to do that now. He's going to think about it. Think about counter-attacking, because this is just going to be so many worker kills. See, Grenooli did get that health upgrade for his troopers, but neither player's got any of the war center damage upgrades. I don't know if they really understand what makes the troopers good. As I said, it's the rate of fire, so having a plus attack means so much. A rare T4, T3 pummel. It's the normal pummel making its way through. Tanking a few shots and stuff. Probably tanks quite a lot considering there's not too much damage from these guys. So it looks like a big brain move there. But the air just wait. Come on, go in. Get the kills. New shield generator being built by Grenooli here. Holding this position as long as he can. One of the cannons has died. But it's absolutely in range. If he just clicks on the shield generator, it'll kill it. So many troopers just being killed off. They walk to this point, they die. They walk to die. Like some Edge of Tomorrow fate for these guys. Come on, do it. Why kill the creature? What's this cruiser about? Just kill the workers. There we go. Right, this should really be the end of Grenooli, I think. He does have some fighters, but they are still fast fighters. And he doesn't have the armor. He's lost a lot of workers already. He's going to take the trade though. We'll see how he does. So it doesn't look like he's really microing too much, but the targeting was okay by the AI there, and they're just going to kill it all, and he's going to call GG there, and that's going to make the series 1-1, and that's already an hour in, so I think I'm going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to stop there for today, we'll finish it off tomorrow, do the rest of the games there. But GG, well played to both players. That one was a bit of a long one, and yeah, probably a lot to learn. Looks like he did get the attack in the end there. But yeah, the attack is what's super meaningful for those troopers. But if you like the content, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, bye bye.